Welcome, my darling pretties, to our Beyond the Dawn of Business podcast for pretty empowered female entrepreneurs. It's time to step into your power, pretties. Lift each other, support the squad, and choose a life filled with the autonomy and freedom to live your dreams. I'm your host, Dawn Beth, owner and founder of Beyond the Dawn digital business brand and agency. My coffee is hot and my eyelashes are on, so we are ready to go. Hello and welcome to today's episode. Today is a really fun one for me because I get to talk to you about something really quite massive that has happened in the last 12 months for my company, but more importantly for the people that we work with and support. So it's been a long time coming, but part of what I've been working on for me as a person, not just the CEO, but Dawny the person, is a lot around my purpose, what the point of me being on this crazy planet is all about, and what I can do to make a positive difference and have a joyful experience in this lifetime, that we are gifted. Regardless of your spiritual inclination, I think it's so important to have that inter-reflective understanding of who you are and what it is that you actually want out of this experience. I love the idea that we are already like lotto winners in the fact that we are here and that we have these bodies and we have these opportunities to experience life. And I know for a lot of people that can be a bit airy-fairy and, clouds up in the sky, but that's me. That's how I've always been. I am but a dreamer. And it's important to me that I recognise that. Now, it's been completely part of my purpose to be able to fully appreciate what it is that I'm doing that will benefit other people and what it is that is really kind of deeply instilled in my sense of purpose and legacy. And with that in mind, a lot of my strategic business decisions have been swayed in that direction. And I think that's why for a lot of leaders and CEOs, sometimes it can be a very difficult thing if you have a business and you've chosen that business purely out of the understanding of either I have a skill that I can use and move and motivate with, or I just want to make money in a different way to the conventional easy way of being employed. And you don't have something that's underneath that. I find that the people that I work with, and I know certainly through my own experience, that if there is a deeper meaning, a deeper understanding, a deeper level of reasoning behind the business, behind the motivations to do all of that, it can actually make some of those big business decisions a little bit easier, because you almost always have a pathway kind of half carved out for you. You can ask the question, does this serve my higher purpose? Does this serve eventually what my legacy is going to look like? When I leave this planet for whatever reason, will what I've left behind fit into the things that are really important to me? And it makes those things super, super easy. And it makes it easy to say no to things as well, which is something that I have recently learned and love doing. It's just something that makes life as a business owner a little more easy, easy to follow. It makes things a bit clearer. It gives you that really, really good opportunity to have clear pathway thinking, which is another amazing practice within positive psychology. Now, the reason why all of this is important, and the reason why I've led with that part of why we're doing what we're doing, is because essentially, when we made the decision over what we were going to do next, it wasn't about providing an entire industry with a standard. So the thing that we did was we went to the UK government and we put forward our certification, our private certification that we've been running for a while, forward to the government for them to review and assess and hopefully award us with the first ever quality standard trademark for social media marketing, social media management. And when we did this, that first and foremost, you should know that it was not an easy process, because the trademarking office, in terms of quality standard of work, when they're putting their seal of approval on people, are not used to the digital landscape. And you would expect that in 2023 that there would be a lot of digitized businesses going ahead and carving and setting a benchmark and precedent for quality work. And the truth, and the sad truth, is that that's just not happening. And I'm not sure why. We are an entirely unregulated field. I do feel like that's going to change, and I'm happy to have been a forefront of those changes. But essentially, when we went to the trademarking office to get this quality standard mark, we had to educate them first in what it was that we even do, and then give them the understanding of the quality that allowed us to declare ourselves, unapologetically the best in the business. And that was not easy, but I'm actually really glad that it wasn't easy, because the journey of it not being easy and the back and forth that had to happen with the trademarking office only made it all the sweeter when we were awarded the only social media management development company in the UK that has a quality standard of work trademark. And what that basically means is that when you hire us, or you hire any of our certified social media managers, and that's not people who work for us. Some of them do, some of them freelance for us, some of them work within our agency, because let's face it, I only hire the best. But also some people who have the certification are completely independent and don't take any work from us and haven't signed up through our agency and are just out there building their amazing businesses and able to prove to you guys that they are worth their salt. Essentially, the quality of their work has been assessed, it has been approved, and now holds that esteem of the quality standard trademark. And all of this it's like bringing in a boring thing to a really exciting thing. We love social media management. We love helping small businesses get that visibility. We love encouraging and increasing sales. But more importantly than anything, we love bringing in fantastic businesses that have longevity, that aren't using trauma marketing, shame language, or shady marketing to get what they need, but actually have a sustainable business that is ethically sound and doing more good than it is bad. People who are really into understanding the enormous power of responsibility that we have when in media, when in control of media in any of its forms. I'm not going to get too political, but I really do think that the shift of media being in the hands of the everyman has both pros and cons. And for those of us that are willing to be almost like social activists in creating that change so that there is a massive force for good, a massive motivation of moving forward for good, we are making changes that will benefit our children, our children's children, and of course ourselves. So that's a bit deep, it's a bit big. Right? Like, go big or go home, Donny. Are you going to be the best in the industry or are you not? Now, there are a number of big names that we've worked with who have been looking at the wrong things. Vanity metrics, immediate sales, looking to push bruises in order to put money in their bank account. And it comes from this strange centre that we could make a lot of money as a company if we were willing to put all of our eggs in that basket. But we don't want to put all of our eggs in that basket. We're trying really hard not to put all of our eggs in that basket. In fact, what we want to do is we want to create a completely different basket so that people who have amazing businesses that support other people can do so in a way that is helping that other person and also having a really fantastic, profitable business. And that's something that is priceless. You cannot put a value on that, because what we're essentially doing is supporting people in having their purpose out there and giving them the opportunity to have a good legacy. And I mean that in a genuine way. And I use the words like authenticity and genuine, I use them interchangeably. And for a period of time, those words were things that, you shouldn't say because everyone was using them. They were buzzwords, they were marketing words, they didn't mean anything. If anything, sometimes using them too often makes people think that perhaps you are disingenuous because you've had to use them, so you're having to convince people. And because we do a lot of work in buying behaviours, body language, all of that stuff, we are aware sometimes that we're actively using language that may feel manipulative or deceptive. And we openly choose to use it anyway because it is the correct language. And yes, bad people use it. But we're good people, and therefore we're not going to shy away from using it when it's appropriate, and that's what we do. And it's a very, very simple thing to be able to say that our social media managers that hold this certification have the opportunity to provide you with a much higher level of quality assurance of work. But more than that, they are dedicated to their field. When you're deciding who it is that you're going to bring into your company to support you, very often for people who have started businesses from scratch, or who are solopreneurs and are thinking about their first hire or their first freelancer or the first kind of support, you're looking at that virtual assistant arena. You're looking at somebody, sometimes it can be purely admin, it can be somebody to help you with your emails. Sometimes it can be somebody who is going to sort out your finances. Quite often bookkeeping and those types of things are an easy hire when you start to require the support so that you can sit in the right seat of your company and be doing the things that are right for you to be doing, the reasons why you got into business in the first place, right? But so often when you're in that arena and you're in the place where you're making some money and you're recognizing that you're losing money because you're sat doing admin tasks or you're sat doing things that aren't meant for you, for the role of the CEO or the leader or the coach or, the person who is actually the face of the brand, you realize that you're losing money because you're actually taking these, I don't want to say low ball as though they're not important. They're incredibly important, but they're not the best use of your potential money earning, turnover and profit creating. Like, it's not profit first for you to be sat doing 12 hours of email management when you could earn £1,000 an hour on Zoom doing your one-to-ones. That's £12,000 that is immediately lost to your company when you start to think about what you could actually be bringing in with that same amount of time. And also for those of us that aren't always, changing time for money, for those of us that are actually charging on our expertise, like, you don't want to be taking lots and lots of your time away from being able to develop new ideas for your clients, because the high return on those things, you lose a lot, and you can actually drag your clients into that, and they can lose a lot by not being able to work with you, by not giving them the opportunities, put the opportunities in front of them by having that support. And when you're in that arena and you finally make that decision and you figure out that actually I need some support here, quite often what we find is that social media is one of the things that makes it high up on that list. It's usually in the top 5. And that means that you're automatically looking for somebody to go ahead and take on your messaging, your potential lead generation, your visibility, and your audience building straight off the bat. Now, these 4 things, if you were to put them in terms of your finances, your bookkeeping, and all of those things, you would be very, very particular about the person that you hire to look at your money. But you may not be incredibly particular about the person that you hire to maintain your reputation or to create more opportunities for audience building or to give that first introduction for lead generation that will eventually turn into your paying clients. However, the priority for your company is of the same level, if not higher. For many of us, it's higher because the sheer money to come into the company for somebody to look at in the finances will come from a lot of those visibility practices. Okay. Now, you may think that because social media is social and there is a social aspect to it, that it's very, very easy to find somebody who's good on Instagram and hire them and just give them a bash, right? And so often we hear when people come to us, because they don't tend to come to me first. That's something that we've noticed. It's been years and years since people came to us first for their first ever social media manager. And it's only since we started having social media VAs, which is a different system, a very different level, that people have come back to us for those things. Very rarely do we get people who are hiring their first social media manager to come to us. What we normally get is somebody who is either a couple of social media managers in and wants to up level, or they are very, very particular and they don't actually want to give the reins away to anybody else, and then they needed somebody of high trust to be able to help them break out of that. Not always a perfect science either. We've had a number of people that have come to us that have not wanted to give up their ownership of it, that can't let go, that have more intrinsic reasons for keeping it personally tied to their identity and therefore cannot let somebody else make decisions and support them in that arena. But we have lots of people that do. Lots of people that understand the business benefit and that it's not personally tied to them, and that strategically they do need to let it go to somebody who knows what they're doing and has their best interest at heart. We very often will give you what you need, not what you want, and it takes a strong character to be able to put down the ego and allow us to do that. The good thing is that once the results start coming in, of course, that's an amazing experience. But for most people who are looking at that, you're probably not really fully in that embodiment unless you want to just pass it over to somebody and let somebody else handle it completely, which is a beautiful place to be. You may not feel like it is. If you're the person that's like, oh, I can't stand social media, I don't want to do it, and I just want to pass it over to somebody, that might feel like you're in a bad place, but actually you're in a beautiful place, because as long as you get your hiring right, you have the opportunity to fully take yourself out of it, to take the emotional out of it. You can detach yourself from the outcome and you can allow somebody to do excellent quality work, to be data driven, not metric driven. So not those rubbish vanity metrics like followers and things like that, but actual data driven. What are people responding to? What is giving a positive response? What is creating more leads and inquiries into your business? Not just what looks good on the gram. Real, proper, data-driven, scientific basis in your strategy. Not just, oh, that looks pretty and my friend really liked it. Or, oh, wow, I now have over 150 followers. Like that means anything when 120,000 of them are not going to ever buy from you ever. So you need to know that who you're hiring and those bases, whether that's your feeling or whether you want to have a little bit more control and have somebody who you really trust. You need to know who it is you're hiring. And just because it's social and other people are quite good at social does not mean that they are able to take your company to the heights that you want to take them. And if you're in that beautiful stage where you're actually at that point where you can onboard somebody into your company to support you, you have opportunities that you may not be able to see when you hire the right people. Okay, when you put the right people in with you, you can really fly. And that's what's so beautiful about the Certified Social Media Management trademark, the certification, the stamp of approval, is because you know that when you see that, you can hire that person without any worry, without any stress. It's also great for them because they don't have to spend lots of time convincing you and their other clients that they are the right fit. You will know from that quality stamp that this person has what it takes to provide you with the top level quality. There is no higher qualification for a social media manager in the UK than this one. This is the highest stamp of approval. The other thing is, in terms of personality and fit, I want you, when you're hiring somebody to do this for you and support you, to pick somebody who is in that mindset, in that business mindset for themselves as well, okay? You don't want somebody who is going to be all about themselves and not understand what it's like to grow a business and not understand what it is that they're actually achieving on your behalf. When we support your social media, we know that we're crawling our way through reeds on our hands and knees with you every day to get you out there, to get you seen, to get you visible. And one of the reasons why we're so good at doing that is because we did it for ourselves. We've done it for hundreds of other businesses. And we know exactly what it feels like to be in the reeds, in the mud, doing the dirty work to get you to where you need to be. All of our certified social media managers have done the very same thing. Because if they were not interested in their own businesses, if they were not interested in gaining you as an audience member, as gaining you as a client, then they would never have had the foresight to invest both the money, but more importantly, the time to get themselves certified. So when you're thinking about your hard-earned and you're thinking, okay, so I'm going to spend between £500 and easily £10,000, depending on your needs, with a social media manager every single month, I want to know that that social media manager has invested in their company, has invested in their training. Because if they haven't paid the time in and the money, because we all need to see that there's been skin in the game, but more importantly, the time for the kudos to have that certification, why should I invest in them if they don't invest in themselves? It's a massive, massive pointer. Difference between somebody taking your money and not caring about it, and somebody who has a business and is taking your money consciously, ethically, and with the right intentions to support you in your goals and your dreams. So, all of this is super exciting for us because we are allowing more people to join the certification. We're opening it up again. We're doing it in November. So we're going to have a brand new batch of newly certified social media managers to go out into the world and on our directory from 2024. Those of which who pass will be available and ready to take on from 2024, from January 2024. And that's why we've done it this time of year, so we can get people geared up, ready for the new year. And that's exciting, man, because for every single CSMM that's getting hired, and by the way, they are getting snapped up and booked up quick. So if you're in the market and you're thinking about it, you do want to look for somebody who has that seal of approval. You're not wanting to hire somebody who doesn't have that qualification, that hasn't got that quality standard mark for you to have, that great guarantee of the return and the wonderful work that you will get from that person. But do act fast, because we cannot certify women fast enough for everybody to be, serviced in that great way. And they're getting booked up really super, super quick. And quite rightly as well, because they are the best in the field. They're the best in the business. So this is super exciting for us. And I can't wait to just keep you guys informed and let you know how it works out for us. We're at this point now where we literally have a wait list of thousands and thousands of social media managers. And, some of them will come to us and their standard will already be great. We know that when we've certified people before, sometimes people will come in and they'll have bad habits, or they'll have no knowledge, and they'll be completely trained fully through the system, and then obviously have their assessment and pass, which is wonderful. But quite a lot of the people that are coming through us have a lot of the qualities that we're teaching already. But what they don't have is that seal of approval that proves that they're already working within that ethical construct. And that's really beautiful, because what we're being able to do is not necessarily say all the social media people out there who don't have this stamp of approval are rubbish, because that's not the case. But what we are saying is that these people have taken the time and the effort to prove to you, the valued customer, the valued client, that they are worth their salt. And that is better than anything else. It's fantastic for every aspect of their business, and it's fantastic for every aspect of your business, and it's fantastic for every aspect of my business, because it means that my purpose is fulfilled through people not being ripped off, through people getting the quality work that they deserve, through people getting the type of service that will mean that they are the small percentage of businesses that are still running and thriving 5 years from now. And that essentially that ripple effect of good that we've been wanting to achieve and that we physically cannot achieve through one Dawny. It's not possible. I can't do it all by myself. So it's like a fantastic community of a wonderful behavior, ethical practice and fantastic work. And it's not just coming through me. It's coming through me in the forefront, but then it's going out into the world and it's going to have a unmeasurable ripple effect in a positive way. And that is exciting. And that is the type of social impact that we will create in media. If enough of us get on this train and enough of us push in the right direction, we will be able to make actual positive change to the world. And that's what we want to do. That's what we are doing. And it's very, very exciting. So let me know how you feel about all of that. Do you think that social media should be regulated? Do you think it's a great thing that we're getting this quality standard mark? Is it something that you will look for when you're hiring? Please do. I would lovingly urge you to consider this as one of the benchmarks before you hire somebody. And let me know your thoughts in the free group because I love to hear from you. Until next time, pretties, I will see you again.
If you're loving our Pretty podcast, come on over to Social Pretties, our online safe house and sisterhood community. It's a safe space where female entrepreneurs connect and thrive in a warm, welcoming fold of pretty amazing women. You'll find an easy redirect in the description, and I can't wait to see you in there. And depending on where you're listening right now, we would love it if you would click subscribe or follow so that you can be the first to know when our new podcasts come out.